In order to do that, we have what is called the multiplier effect. And this is basically what we've been talking about all along. The multiplier effect is actually the economy multiplying itself. And if we take what we call the multiplier effect and we put it to some mathematical formula, we can represent our multiplier effect by the lowercase m. And all we're going to do is simply divide 1 into the MPC, which in this case is 0.25. And that gives us a multiplier of 4, which means a change in $10 will multiply the economy, and therefore that final $25.50 change in the economy that we got would actually turn into a change of $40 in the economy. Now, if we take that same concept, and let's assume that this is the same diagram that we had before, income is equal to consumption plus savings, and the first line that we have is called our consumption line. But then all of a sudden, businesses decide to invest $20 billion in plant and equipment. What we want to find out is, given this small change in here, we can see the larger change that occurred in area B. But what we need to do is find out how much that changed. We already have the formula to do that. So therefore, if we take this, we can simply say the change in GDP would be equal to our change in spending, which is $20 billion, times our multiplier, in this case, which is 4. So therefore, our GDP would change by $80 billion. And therefore, our GDP would go up from 390 when we just had consumption up to 470. The last piece of the puzzle that we want to put together now is earlier we said that we were going to simply just say that our income, our GDP was equal to consumption plus investment. We want to relax that. We want to ignore that and open up, involve our government. We're going to exclude taxes for now. And in our little fantasy world, we have no taxes. But instead, we want to see what happens if President Obama now comes down and says, in order to get people back to work, in order to get money into the pockets of the people, let us assume for a moment that Obama and Congress both agree on putting $30 billion into the economy. So therefore, what would happen, this would become 440. And if we just take off a straight line, this would be C plus I. We're adding our G. And again, we can see that this small change in spending here resulted in a much larger change in GDP or in income here. And in order to figure this out, what our GDP would be, well, we already have this. We know that the multiplier effect is 1 divided by the MPS, which is the marginal propensity to save, which is 1 divided by 0.245, which is equal to 4. The change in spending is $30 billion, and therefore our change in GDP would be $120 billion. So therefore this would simply, our GDP then would go up to 590. This change would be, the change would be $120 billion. So therefore, by injecting this $30 billion with a marginal propensity, with a multiplier effect of 4, that would in fact turn into $120 billion by virtue of the simple fact that for every extra dollar you get, you spend 75 cents of that. That becomes income to those who help produce that good. Those people take that that extra change in income, and then they spend 75 cents of every extra dollar in income they have. And therefore, it's a domino effect. It's a multiplier effect. If you think of a snowball going down a hill, sometimes in some of the animations that we have in cartoons that you have. You see a snowball going down a hill, and as it's going down the hill, it's gathering more and more snow, and it's becoming larger and larger and larger. And this is exactly this concept. It's called the multiplier effect. It's very important. In some instances, it is a challenging concept to grasp in simply reading about it. I hope this video helped. And if you have any questions at all concerning this concept or any of the other concepts, put them on the discussion board, email me personally. Thank you very much. Have a great day.